Yeah. This is Mishka. She's going to read with me. Okay. And then chapter 4. Not surprisingly, neither the farmer nor his wife believed a word that the children told them about the amazing talking pullet. But I heard her, said Prudence. And me, said Bob. Honestly, Dad, Abigail said, Polly can talk. But her father was not the sort of man to put up with such flights of fancy. Oh, shush. Now look here, Abby, he said. We all know that chickens make funny noises, but we also know that the only animals that can reproduce human speech are parrots. And minor birds, said his wife. And budgies, said Prudence. And me, said Bob. It's all right, the farmer went on, for Prue and Bob to be making up fairy stories like that, but you're too old to be telling such fibs, Abby. So let's have no more of the silliness. If a hen can talk, I'm a Dutchman. It's not fair, said Prudence angrily afterwards. They just don't believe us. Why don't you fetch Polly, Abby, and make her say something in front of them? Abigail didn't answer. She was hurt at being singled out as a liar, but Prudence's question gave her an idea. She spent the rest of that last afternoon of the school holidays with pretty Polly, teaching her something new and rehearsing the pullet until she was word perfect. Then she waited, Polly at her side, until after milking, when her father had finished washing up in the dairy and was coming out on his way to the house for tea. So it was that, to his wife's astonishment, the farmer came into the kitchen looking very different from his normal, cheerful, red-faced self. His cheeks were pale, and he threw himself down in a chair and passed a hand over his eyes. Whatever's the matter, Bill, he said. You look as though you'd seen a ghost. Here, have a cup of tea. I need something stronger, Mary, said Abigail's father in a shaky voice. She spoke to me. Who spoke to you? Said his wife. Abigail? Prudence? No, it was that pullet, Abby's pet one. Polly? Yes. Spoke to you? Yes. She said, you're a Dutchman. You imagined it. Ask Abby, she was there. Abigail came into the kitchen, Polly at her heels. Is it true, what Dad says? Her mother asked. That bird can actually talk. Abigail nodded. Listen, she said, and she asked Polly what her name was, and Polly answered, to be rewarded with a biscuit crumb. The farmer shook his head in wonder. I owe you an apology, Abby, he said. And me, said Prudence. And me, said Bob. Yes, all of you. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. Now I'm ready to believe anything. Like that fatso can talk? Said Prudence. Oh no. No, he can't, Abigail said. Bob thinks he can teach him, but hamsters can't say anything. I didn't think hens could. Fatso was being fed on Bob's lap, and his cheeks bulged with biscuit. I suspect he could speak, said Bob, but he's too polite. How do you mean? Didn't you know? Said Bob. It's rude to talk with your mouth full. And just by chance, Polly said, why? What else can she say? Asked the children's father. Not much, said Abigail. Just eat a Weetabix. That's the first thing I taught her. Oh, and clever girl. She certainly is, said her father. Polly gave him a searching look. You're a Dutchman, she said once again. But she only began talking today, said Abigail. I don't see why she shouldn't learn loads and loads of other words. She could, couldn't she? Said her father, rubbing his chin in a thoughtful way. The colour had come back into his cheeks, and his voice sounded eager. He looked at Polly in that critical and observant way that every good stockman looks at one of his animals, assessing its appearance, its condition, its worth. She could be a very valuable bird, he said slowly. She could be a very unpopular bird, said Abigail's mother, if she makes a mess on my kitchen floor. Speech-trained she may be, house-trained she is not. Get her out of here, Abby, and you put that hamster back in its cage, Bob, before it's too late. It is, said Bob. He done a poo. When the children had gone to bed, their mother looked narrowly at her husband. I know you, Bill Brown, she said. You're as much of a dealer as you are a farmer. Any chance of making a profit out of an animal, and you'll sell it. I saw the look in your eyes just now when you said that bird could be valuable. I warn you, don't go getting any ideas about her. The farmer looked a little sheepish, but he was not cowed. Oh no, he said. But just think, if that parrot in that pet shop was worth £850, what in the world would that pullet fetch? A talking parrot's one thing, but a talking hen? Why, that's unheard of. There's never been such a creature. You could ask any price you liked. It's not as though we were all that well off, Mary. It's a struggle on the farm like this. You know that. The sale of that bird could bring in enough for you to have all kinds of new things to the house. And enough for me to replace the old tractor, he thought. No, said his wife sharply. That Polly belongs to our Abby. She trained her to talk. You're surely never thinking of selling that bird now. Oh no, said her husband. Not now, he thought. Later, when she's learned a whole lot more words. The more she talks, the more she'll fetch.